Today, of course, is a national holiday in the sense of there's a bunch of people out east right now celebrating a huge event, so big as a matter of fact, that national media is there. Even international media is there. Of course, the big topic of discussion is the weather, because it's going to be outdoors and everything like this. And of course, it's very good. And you know what, though? It's really not that uncommon because, well, of course, it happens every February 2nd. Of course, we're talking about Groundhog Day. That's right. We're talking about Groundhog Day in Pennsylvania and that beautiful celebration talking about the weather. Now, what about Groundhog Day? What about it? Why am I bringing this up? Do you know it actually has its roots from the Christian faith? Do you understand this? It's actually can be considered a Christian celebration. It's always on February 2nd. It's always on the presentation of the Lord. And why is this? Because the presentation of the Lord is also known as Candlemas, where in tradition we bless the candles, especially in the Eastern Orthodox Church. Here at St. John the Baptist, well, I kind of had a busy week, so I kind of forgot about it, but we'll take care of it next time. All right, don't worry. We'll have that same blaze blessing at the end of Mass, but we'll just extend our hands instead. But it's known as Candlemas, and it's a celebration of changing of seasons. Changing of seasons. So the ancient tradition in Europe, we used to be, they take a furry animal and they'd hold it up to see if it's shadow or not. No, it wasn't really much that. Of course, winter's going on, longer or shorter. It didn't really matter about that. It was this tradition of saying changing of seasons. So when these German immigrants came from there over to America and Pennsylvania, they wanted to continue this tradition, and there's plenty of groundhogs available. I can't say that word today. I don't understand why, but that's fine. I said at the other masses, it worked just fine. So there's plenty of groundhogs available, and they'd hold it up and, of course, see that shadow. And, of course, if whatever the tradition is, it's going to be a longer winter or a shorter winter. You know who loves the winter, by the way? Like, really likes it a lot, the cold weather? Father Josh Brown. He loves it so much that he vacationed up here in Minnesota, but it's not cold enough for him. As a matter of fact, this afternoon, we're leaving to go even farther up north. He's going from Nebraska, where the high is last night he said, it's kind of cold, Father Carlson. I'm like, really? It's the warmest time we've had the whole week. But that's okay. We're going to go to a colder place. He loves the winter so much, he's hoping that the winter extends all the way through the rest until July, so he can go golfing or something like that. But anyways, it's this changing of seasons, in the sense of the celebration. Spring is right around the corner, hopefully. And of course, in the church, February 2nd would signify this change as well, the presentation of the Lord, because there's change in the air. We're changing from one season to the next, in the sense that Christmas is over, we're in ordinary time, and right around the corner is Lent, this changing of seasons. What is Lent going to bring? It's going to bring change inside of us, of course, but also that end of Lent, Good Friday, Easter, changing. It's a beautiful thing. And of course, Lent is going to be another month away from now, but still we should already start preparing for that. So that's what Groundhog Day is all about. It's this changing of season, but once again, why is it celebrated on the presentation? Because Christ brings light into the world. The light into the world. We here at St. John the Baptist are in the midst of change right now as well. There's no doubt about it. We've changed. We've changed since I've been here. You know what? That's okay. That's good. This parish is always changing. When Father Cushing got here in 1910, guess what happened? It changed. In 1915, it changed. When he was still there in 1945, it changed. It changed all the time. Why? Because our needs are always changing. Father Dash was here for 16 years. And in those 16 years, this parish changed. How? In many different ways. If Father Dash was still here today, if he decided not to retire, we as a parish would still be changing. Next year, we'll still be in the midst of change. But there's a lot of change going on right now. And this is a good thing in one way, but also a little bit of saying, whoa, what's going on? Today I'd like to preach to you a little bit about a process that we're in the midst of right now here at this parish because of some of the changes that are going on. The process that we're in right now is called the Grow Pastoral Planning Process. You can see right here, it's a nifty little banner. And on this banner it says, let's take St. John the Baptist to the next level. Let's be the best parish we possibly can be. And this GROW process is a process that the Archdiocese of St. Paul started putting out about 3 years ago, and they started talking about it. Last year is the first they offered it, and now there's second phase. We're in the second phase of it. And it's a process, what they're going to come in with international people. Teamworks International is one of the organizations. Catholic Finance Corporation is one of them. Parish Service Team from the Archdiocese. And we come in as a parish, and we put together a pastoral planning process. Now, we're not the only parish that's doing this, by the way. There's many parishes in the Archdiocese that are doing this. And we have a committee together. We've actually met a couple times already. And the committee consists of not just me. This is beautiful, right? The committee consists of the chairperson for our parish council, chairperson for the finance council, chairperson for the school committee, as well as both of our trustees, about 3 or 4 other parishioners, and then also our business administrator, our principal, and our director of faith formation. And what we're in the midst of right now is putting a pastoral plan in place for the future of this beautiful and great parish. And already there's fruit coming from it. In these couple meetings that we've had already, we can see, listen, these are areas we need to address. Listen, don't touch this. It's working really well. And it's beautiful. So what's happening is we're putting that plan in place for this parish. I've mentioned I've been here now for a little over 6 months, I believe. And I have a pretty good understanding of where we were before. Of course, I don't know everything. I'm not going to know all the history. But I've done some research. I'm starting to make connections and faces like, oh, you are related to that person, huh? That is your wife? Okay, I got it now, okay? It's very good. And all these things. So we're understanding that a little better. I still need to figure out, though, of who we are as a parish. Who we are as a parish is not, by the way, just made up of buildings. Who we are as a parish means, who are you? You make up the parish. Not the buildings, not the staff, but you as the parishioners make up this parish. And of course, in this survey that we're going to put out is I'm going to understand more of who you are. That's right. We're putting out a survey, and as a matter of fact, it's live right now. There's a parish survey put out by Teamworks International that we are participating in. What we are asking of every single parishioner of St. John the Baptist to do is to fill out this survey. And on this survey, there's going to be very pointed questions about our parish and where we are going. And by the way, when I say every single parishioner, I mean that. Not just one person from your household, everyone. The example I use is you don't vote as a household when you go to vote for elections. Husband and wife, so you probably vote separately. Why? Because you probably sometimes might have differing ideas. The same with this parish survey. You and your wife, or you and whoever else is in your family, may have similar agreements, but there might be interesting things on there. So that's why every single person, 18 years of age and older, we are asking to take this survey. And when you give this survey back to us, what we're able to do then is to plan better for the future of this parish. You know, Father Cushion had a plan when he got here. He was here for 50 years. And one of those plans, of course, was building and buying that cemetery, and a beautiful cemetery that we have. Of course, he said, we need more land, so we bought this land up here. He had a plan in place. So we need new doors at the back of the church when he was building the church. He went to England and got the doors and unfortunately passed away. But there has to be a plan in place here. And we too are going to put this plan in place. We're not looking 50 years out. We're not looking 10 years out. What the pastoral plan is going to do is simply look at the next 180 days once May 10th comes. And we can have action items of where we are going. What the survey will do is address areas that we need to look at. We are a changing parish. Our needs have changed from 20 years ago. Our needs have changed from 15 years ago. Our needs have changed since July. We need to hear this from you. Some of the questions on this survey are pretty direct. One of them I'm actually kind of worried about, by the way. It says, what is your satisfaction with the preaching? Now, I think they're used to parishes like 2 or 3 priests. So if we all come back as very dissatisfied, I'll be like, it must be that Father Brown preaching again or something like that, right? But of course, we'll see. That's fine. We'll figure out what it is. But questions are like that. Satisfaction with the music, with our faith formation, with our school, with our pastoral outreach, all these great things. Another question on there I think is very pointed. It's very beautiful. It says, why do you make this your parish? I want to know. Why do you choose this parish? What's most important to you that we offer to you? That's one of the questions. One of the questions on there is going to address the need that we've looked at the last 20 years. 1994 is when our gathering place got finished. For 20 years now, we've been asking ourselves, what are we going to do with the church? What are we going to do? There's been no improvements for the most part in the last 20 years to this church, because it's always that question, wait till we flip it. Wait till we turn it 180 degrees. Wait till we renovate it, whatever it may be. And we could tell. We can look around this church right now and say, boy, I'd really like to improve this. I'd really like to put new kneelers in. I'd really like to update our adoration chapel. Whatever it may be, but we can't. I'd really like to put a baptismal font in. We can't do this because we don't know the grand plan. This is one of the questions that's on there that you as parishioners of this parish get to answer. But for this to happen, we need you to take the survey. And in this, then we can better plan for the future of this great parish. You know, something I figured out about this parish and you is that you respond very well to challenges. In Advent, I gave you a challenge. Go to confession. And it was awesome. The lines were huge. I've never heard more confessions than I did this Advent. And that's because you responded to that challenge. Of course, go to confession in Lent. That's a given challenge. We all know about that. But I want to give you another challenge today. It's very simple. Take this survey. Take this online survey, which you're going to hear about in many different ways in the next 2 weeks, by the way. You're going to get a call-all. You're going to get mailings. You're going to get email. I'm not going to preach about next week, but you're going to hear about next week at Mass. Why? Because it's so important for the future of this parish that we hear from you, the parishioners, and even non-parishioners. If you're a visitor here that comes every 2 or 3 weeks out of 6 months, or just once or twice a month, come, take the survey. Take it. Let us know what you think. Not just me, but the committee. And what's going to happen then? When we get a plan in place, then we'll be that parish that we're called to be. We are a good parish, but can we be better? Can we be the best parish possible? Yes, we can. But we need to put a plan in place. You know, Joseph and Mary presented Jesus in the temple. All right? Oh, that would have been a great heresy. All right, so improve that preaching. All right, got it. Check. All right, so Mary and Joseph presented Jesus in the temple. All right, and in that, of course, they were amazed because what they saw was this light coming into this world. Christ is the light. We as a parish, too, are called to be a light to the world. But we need to have a plan in place. And we have to implement that, of course. But first and foremost, I need to know who we are. And then we can plan for the future. My brothers and sisters, I am very excited for this process. I am so excited because I can continue to see improvements in this parish. And what does that mean? I can continue seeing us continuing to glorify God. When you take this survey, yes, it's going to help the parish. But you know who else it's going to help? It's going to help you because then we're able to serve you better. We're going to help you encounter Christ better. But for this to happen, I need you. This parish needs you. Christ needs you to give us your input. And then we will see where God leads us.